So this afternoon we're going to have a conversation about blackness. Who's black, who's not, and who cares?
I say
Dr.
to you
Yaba Blay.
today, my
Dr.
friend,
Yaba Blay.
Dr. Yaba Blay.
And everybody has a story. And everybody has a story. And everybody has a story.
My name is Dr. Yaba Blay, and this is Good Graffiti TV. What do you people call yourselves now?
People get caught up in political correctness oftentimes, right? And so like challenging us to think about why we use the language we use to self-identify. Most people don't think about it, you know? You know, that's one aspect. And then, you know, one student asked a really good question in terms of the nomenclature that we use to self-identify. So like recognizing that the project is really about looking at, you know, global blackness and blackness, not looking any one particular way, but given the history of the term, like why do we still use the term black? And so like I challenged him in terms of what history you know about the term, you know, because on the one hand, none of these terms, interestingly enough, we didn't create them. Right? They've always been given to us. Colored, Negro, Black, Afro-American. It's about political correctness, right? But at the same time, for me, like even though my family is from Ghana and I was born and raised in New Orleans, like technically I am African American, right? But I use the word black because to me, black connects me to other people that look like me in the rest of the world. You know, it's a consciousness of unity. And if we know, you know, anything about the Pan-African movement, like black was the term that they used. But people saying, well, you don't act black. Wow. Or you don't talk black. Or, you know, all these things. And like, who gets to determine what blackness is? Right. And based upon what? You know? Because a lot of times that's really just based on stereotypes. So like, I didn't grow up in the hood. Exactly. So I'm not black. You know what I mean? Like my father would have my tail if I didn't speak a certain way. Exactly. At home, you know? Exactly. Properly. You know, white people don't have the license. They don't even speak English properly. Right. So if you want to take them to London somewhere, you know what I'm saying? English people be like, what are you talking about? Exactly. English. You know, so they don't have the American. You know, they don't have the monopoly over like how we speak. You know, so like really challenging people to think about like, what are we saying a lot of times when we attempt to define blackness in these very narrow ways. Like we leave out a lot of people who are quite black. So if you're gonna go by these standards that you've created, like where would we be without W.E.B. Du Bois? Would you say he was black? The most overused and misunderstood terms in our contemporary society. There's nowhere in people's educational experience or really even lived experiences where they've had to learn about racism. Like students are quick, for example, and I always use students as the example to be like, that's racist, or she's racist, or he's racist, when what they really mean is that person is prejudiced. They've never had to read about racism, they never had to take a class about racism to understand a definition of racism. So if you were to say, define racism, they don't have anything that, you know what I mean? And so it's one of those words that people think they know what it is when they see it. But it's overused to the extent where if you're constantly saying that's racist, he's racist, she's racist, you're not able to recognize other forms of racism. Like you're not able to recognize institutionalized racism because they're so caught up in individual people's behavior as opposed to their conversations that take place behind doors.
There are systems
and decisions that are made behind closed doors that you can't recognize. And so I don't use racism because I think this is my teaching experience. They already think they know what it is. So when I say white supremacy and you get uncomfortable, then we can have a conversation.
I thought it was a very insightful look at race and how we perceive it. It really gives you an idea of perceptions from different people, from a holistic perspective on class, race, and how people self-identify. So it was very enlightening, very educational. I look forward to seeing it. I really enjoyed the presentation. She was very informative. She gave me some insight.
So I'm Dr. Miranda Sawyers. I'm on faculty here at UNT Dallas, and
I thoroughly enjoyed this program and the ideas that Dr. Blay brought up in her talk that she covers in her documentary, and felt that it was extremely important for her to engage students outside the classroom in some of the things that they're learning in my sociology classes and also in other classes and programs at the university.
We have to take ownership over our identities, you know, and so that's really what the project is about. It's like, people think I named the project One Drop because I'm like advocating for the one drop rule, and I'm just saying, like, we have to think about, like, this rule is at the core of Black identity in this country, and we just accept it, you know. So when are we gonna, like, think about how we come to idea? What does that mean, and how do we identify? And if we're not doing the one drop rule, then what are we using? What are we using? What are we using?